Juliette Binoche. This is one of the most surreal moments of my life, being here with you on this couch. Thank you for joining us.
I'm real, you can touch me.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna, no, I don't want. You are here in San Sebastian Film Festival because your debut as a filmmaker, as a film director, has been selected for the official selection. It is called I in Motion.
In I in Motion. No, In I in Motion.
In I in Motion, yeah, sorry.
Because In I is a show that I did with Akram Khan years ago.
Okay.
And In I in Motion is the film of it, because it's you have the first part that is the documentary on how we created the show, and then you have the show.
It was fascinating for me to witness this process of two actors trying to find the
Not
truth.
two actors, is one. He's a choreographer and dancer, and
Yeah.
I'm an actress.
And you have to dance as well.
And he wanted to act, to experience acting, and I wanted to move and give myself to the movement. And so the pivotal moment was that how do we find a bridge between dance and acting? And how can I go towards his world and he can come to towards my world? And the fact that dancers, they're starting with the outside somehow, you know, because they train in front of the mirror, they work with how it looks to start with. Not everyone, but a lot of dancers. And as actors, we start from the inside, and then what's coming out is really related to in the inside. And so, even though we can work on technical things as well, but this combination was, you know, was bringing so many questions about how do we create a world that is in between us and with us.
I was very surprised by your process because you've been doing this for quite a long time now, and still I can see you struggling to find the core.
Acting-wise, you mean?
Yeah. And the truth of the character. Doesn't it ever get easier?
No.
Never?
It's never easy. No, that's why it's fascinating, because you're still looking for the truth of and how you're gonna get into it. It's always difficult because it's you're putting yourself in questions. You're also challenging yourself into different directions, and it's about life. You know, it's as you're going. You know, your values are changing because you're getting older. Things that seem to be so important before are not that important after. So it's the adaptation, and we're so good as human beings if we're willing to transform ourselves throughout time and what's happening.
You seemed to be quite exhausted at certain points.
I'm always exhausted. I'm working too much.
Not today.
No, but I mean, you mean in the film I look exhausted?
Like physically drawn.
I mean, you're giving yourself 8 hours a day moving around when you've never moved before. I mean, the rhythm, the body has to, you know, to adapt with this new kind of life. And so towards the end, you know, my body was fitter, and so I could really face it. But to start with, it was like, what am I doing? You know, because I couldn't breathe. And you see in the film that there's layers of, you know, and he said to me, Akram, in the film, you can hear him saying, well, it's never going to be easy. The first 5 minutes, you feel like you're going to be dying. And then after that, you get sort of used to that feeling, and the body changes. You have the second souffle, we said, the second breath, and then you get going, and that's okay.
In the Spanish film industry, we are usually very jealous of the French film industry because it seems to me that the film world, the film industry in France is very respected, and it has a certain cultural capital, so to speak. Whereas in Spain, we are kind of sometimes, not me, but the general public sometimes is a little bit derisive of the Spanish movies. Why do you think that happens in France? What's the secret to?
Well, we have a system that is helping authors, and it's true that the world is envious to it because it protects a certain, you know, author values, let's say, of independence, of trying things, and maybe it's not going to work out, but it's part of the process of searching, but at the same time, there are a lot of wonderful directors you have in Spain that are
I know.
really emerging into the, the international cinema world. So you should be happy.
We are very proud, but some part of the public is not very keen on Spanish movies. They're like, I like films, but not Spanish films.
Yeah, but it's hard to be loved in your own country.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's a general thing. So don't take it personally.
Okay.
You still have to fight.
Speaking of which, how is it perceived in France when a French actor goes to work in American films? Because in Spain, usually people don't like it. When Antonio Banderas or Penélope Cruz or Javier Bardem, they went to do films in Hollywood.
I think there's a mix of admiration.
Who does she think he is, you know?
No, I think it's mixed with a lot of feelings because there's a pride as well, probably, and it's mixed feelings. But I think deep down, it's like parents, you know. They might feel a little tormented, but then they're deeply proud because it's about bringing also the spirit, the smell of another place to the world. So it's a way to participate into the change of world.
Yeah, and the image of the country worldwide.
Yeah, there's something inside as well.
I remember Marion Cotillard, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it. After she won the Oscar, she went back to France and she said, the last 6 months are the toughest months of my life because of the Oscar campaign and the promotion and the events. You did that back in '96. Was it tough for you as well?
I wouldn't say that. I was so amazed to see the enthusiasm around the world of what we had done in the film, and I loved working with Anthony Minghella and all the process of it. The whole film was such a joyful experience. So for me, it was a continuation of that process. So no, I enjoyed I mean, it's hard on your body because there's a lot of jet lag and you've got to do interviews, and so it's hard in a way, but when it's done with passion, you're just taken by the fire you have inside and want to share it. And this film I'm doing, in Motion, is part of that. It's like, it's my first interview for this film.
Really?
And it's my first day of interview presenting the film today because it's our world premiere tonight. So it's very exciting to me because I've been working on this film for 2 years. And it was actually Robert Redford who said to me after watching this show, he said, you've got to make a film out of it.
Really?
You have to do it. And the fact that he just died like 2-3 days ago, and for me it's so related to him in a way because he pushed me to do it. And that 15 years after I did it because I didn't know how to. I'm an actress, and I thought, I don't have the production.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to make it. And then finally, because we were ending the tour, I had to find a way to film this show. And so I asked my sister, who I've been attending the rehearsals as well. She knew the show, and she shot the 7 last shows of the film, and I made the film. So for me, it's a very special day and a special interview.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
Had you thought about doing this film before Robert Redford said that to you?
No, I kind of thought I've got to do something.
There's something here
because it was so amazing to find this link between Akram and myself, and also because he's coming from Bangladesh, and he's Muslim, and he's brown, and he's very different from my background and everything. That's how do you make a world possible, a co-creation together, that we're going to tour all around the world. And I think, the politics are so dark at the moment. Everybody is pulling the blanket and saying, this is my country, my nation, my economy. So it's so egoistical point of view. And then, making a peace and trying to descend from your egos, from your habits, from whatever is coming, and going to the other persons or the other nation, the other country, it requires a little bit of letting go of all the pride. And I think in this film, that's why I'm so passionate, there's something about, in a microcosm that is showing that you've got to make efforts in order to work together. And there was, with Akram, there was sometimes a lot of tension. There was a lot of giggling at the same time, but we had to find, ways to tolerate each other.
There's some childish giggling.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I could have made a film of all the giggles, all the laughs.
comedy.
Yeah, I could have done it. It could have been a choice, or, a film of all the tensions, a tragedy. I mean, because when you create, there's so much involvement because you have ideas and you want to fight for them. But then there's so much need of being in touch with your humanity in order to make it work. Because when you direct yourself, you've got, you're competing within yourself. Yeah. But when you're two, it's another story.
I'm going to ask you now a very shallow question. How did you choose your Oscar dress? Because it was a dress. Very memorable.
Oh, yeah?
You didn't think so?
No, what happened is that...
It was huge.
Was it? Yeah, I had a collar. Yeah. It was actually a stylist who said to me, you should work with Sophie Sidbon. And Sophie Sidbon is independent, and she's not, working with a big group of fashion. And so I went to her and I said, "Do you want to create something?" And she said, "Yeah, oh, amazing." So we did it together. Simple as that.
So there was this point in your career when you did Damaged and Wuthering Heights and The English Patient where you kind of specialized in suffering. Very tragic.
I specialize in suffering.
Or maybe
I specialize in hopes, I think. That's all I did. Because as human beings, I don't know if you know, but we go through different directions.
A lot of suffering, like extreme suffering.
No, I don't agree with you at all. No, because I think when I hear stories in people's lives, I'm always surprised how tragic it is sometimes.
Yeah.
And and sometimes I'm thinking if we were going to tell this story, nobody will believe it because it's so tragic. So I think the reality is harder actually than the films. But I think also I'm not frightened to show the dark sides of ourselves or the painful sides because it needs to be expressed. Also because I think the idea is for the audience to feel and reconcile because we're separated inside of us most of the time. And I think it's very important to go down, be able to go down, but in order to transform. And the joy is coming then, it's coming back. Because I think if you're really true to yourself, you realize how much things you're hiding, how much dark sides you're hiding, and you need to have the courage to get in. That's my belief. So cinema is also helping us to go into those places and think about it and resolve it and heal and transform it. And it's a catharsis place. I think it's very important to understand that, not to put it aside and say, oh, I just want to laugh. And of course I want to laugh. I'm a joyful person. I want to be in my joy. But you've got to earn it in a way.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you put things in outside, it's not being human to me.
Bad question, great answer. I'm just going to ask you one last question, very simple question.
Yeah.
Speaking of...
You're not going to kill me.
No. Speaking of great film directors, back in the day, Steven Spielberg offered you a role in Jurassic Park 2, and you said that you didn't see yourself running around dinosaurs.
No, I said, I would love to play a dinosaur. It would be more interesting.
That's a better answer. But then...
No, but I had to say yes to Kieslowski for Blue.
Yeah.
To shoot Blue. So no, because I already given my answer. So for me, there was no like that. Yeah. There was already a given answer. Because I think in our world, I think what we say, our words are so important because they're really like, there are contracts. You don't need to sign the contract. You need, when you speak out.
You have your word.
You have to have your word.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Juliette Binoche. Enjoy San Sebastian.
Yes, I will.
Congratulations on your film.
Thank you very
And enjoy your big night.
Thank you.
Thank you.